I'm Jeffrey Fenster, a trial lawyer in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and our law firm is Fenster and Cohen in Plantation. We specialize in cases involving elder abuse in Florida. In my previous video, I discussed with you the different types of facilities that care for the elderly. And what I want to do with this informal video, and I hope it's helpful to many of you that have to face this decision, is what happens after mom comes out of the hospital. What do I do with her? Well, let me start from the beginning. One of the most important things that we have to concern ourselves about is cost. The other thing we have to concern ourselves about is compensation to the facility. It is my advice to folks looking at this as part of my guide that health insurance for the elderly is more complicated than one would have you believe. There are two types of health insurance available to seniors in general. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, like city employees or federal employees. But I wanted to talk to you about insurance issues first. Medicare has a list of standards with regard to nursing homes and with regard to rehabilitation hospitals. The difficulty lies in distinguishing between insurance that is provided by a Medicare Advantage plan versus insurance that is provided by Medicare and a supplement. I caution all of you watching this not to rely upon a Medicare Advantage plan when considering placing a loved one in a facility. My advice to most folks that have to face the issue is that you should have Medicare, regular old-fashioned Medicare issued by the Center for Medicare Services, which pays 80%, and some type of supplement, either through AARP or a private insurance company, and or Medicaid. Medicaid will pay for a supplement to Medicare in the event that an elderly person or person in need of a nursing facility needs a supplement. I advise against Medicare Advantage plans because you give up your rights to stay in a skilled nursing facility under a Medicare Advantage plan. Under that plan, the Medicare, and I have seen this in the past, the Medicare Advantage plan, or HMO, often forces the discharge of elderly folks who are weakened and accepting physical therapy and medication, IV antibiotics, in a nursing home, and they send them home with home health care. I've seen folks after a hip surgery discharged from a nursing home after 4 or 5 days under a Medicare Advantage plan. Remember what's most important. Under old-fashioned Medicare, you're entitled to up to 100 days in a skilled nursing facility. They do not provide for long-term care, but you do get the time you need for rehabilitation in a skilled nursing facility from Medicare. My advice to you is dump your Advantage plans, go with Medicare and a supplement, and if you can't afford that, get Medicaid. So that's the first issue. What kind of insurance do I need? Once that decision is made, I'd like to consider next, where do I take mom or dad after she's broken, for example, her hip? Very often we see folks that make a decision as to where to place the elderly person for, quote, rehabilitation. It is my considered advice, after having many years in this field, that loved ones do better in rehabilitation hospitals as opposed to skilled nursing facilities. A rehabilitation hospital does not accept long-term care patients. The folks are only there for short-term treatment with the goal of rehabilitation from 1 week to 3 months. We have sent young folks to these facilities after traumatic events where they are paralyzed, and these facilities work intensively. The other advantage to sending an elderly person to a rehabilitation hospital is that you have the access to medical doctors who actually make rounds in the hospital to treat the elderly person. You give up that right in a skilled nursing facility. So my advice, after a short-term stay in the hospital, surgery, treatment, Don't go to a skilled nursing facility. If you have access to a rehabilitation hospital, and a lot of large hospitals have rehabilitation units, make that decision. It could be a lifesaver. So my next video is going to discuss short and long-term care at nursing facilities both in Florida and nationwide. Again, my name is Jeffrey Fenster. I'm a trial lawyer doing medical litigation against nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and hospitals.